Hello. Happy Saturday. Hope everyone is doing well. Your girl got some sleep. um, it just started raining outside again, so hopefully stream doesn't get shot. I think we should be okay. But I hope y'all are doing well. Um, we got a little game demo today. I know I usually don't stream on Saturdays, but I was like, you know what? I want to go ahead and play this one. Let's see what happened was I think they sent this to me like I think a few days or so before I actually saw it. I am so sorry. The email went to spam. I don't know. Sometimes I check my spam because you're like, you never know. So I skimmed through it to make sure, and then I saw that I got an email from Crystal Gameworks, the developers that made this game, and I'm like, wait a minute. So I like looked at it and I was like, this looks legit, but I need to make sure it's not a scam. So I I saw their socials. I hit them up. I was like, hey, y'all sent this to me? They were like, yeah. I was like, okay, bet. I'm gonna add it to my schedule. So yeah, and yeah, I made sure to look into it. So if you don't know, Crystal Game Works, they are a entirely female team of game developers. They make otome games and they make BL games. Um so yeah, I was like, this looked really interesting, and apparently this game right here is the standalone sequel to the first Crimson Waves on the Emerald Sea game, and both of them are available to play on Steam and itch.io. I was a little nervous, like I was like, oh good, it's on Steam, because I've never played a game on itch before. I've never done it, but I did have it set up. I did set up the stream so I could play it on itch. That's why I was saying, like in the announcement, I was like, I'm gonna add something else to the schedule, but I need to make sure that I can get it to work. I had it cropped up ready to play it on itch, but I was like, you know what? I can just download it from Steam. That'll be a lot easier. But I was prepared. Your girl was prepared. I had a backup plan. I do need to check something right quick. But yeah. So I do want to give a thank you to Crystal Gameworks for inviting me to try out their demo. Your girl play Atomic games, so of course I wanted to try this out. And if y'all are interested, you can do !Crimson on, like, to everyone on Twitch. You can do !Crimson, and it should give you the links to the Steam and itch.io page for this game. And I also have a timer up, but it's like 30-minute intervals. But if you need to look for it and the timer didn't show up, then you can do !Crimson. And on YouTube, I have the links to both in the description. So those links are already in the description. Even if anyone misses. Wait. Okay, one moment. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Had to go play assistant. But in about 5 minutes, I'm gonna have to BRB again. Oh, sorry. Okay. All right, we're back. Okay, so what I was doing. Okay, check something right quick. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I had to make sure that I confirmed. Okay. So Crimson Waves on the Emerald Sea and Crimson Waves on the Emerald Sea, Amaranth. I think it's like Amaranthine. Come on, I just looked it up. But anyway, both games are available to play for free on itch.io and Steam. That's what I was saying. All right, and I think that was it. All right, so let's get into it. Hopefully the audio levels are fine. I left it like at default, so hopefully it should be fine. We're gonna start because I haven't started. See what's going on. I've always wondered how slow time feels for adult vampires. For the fleeting time I was a vampire as a child, it was like a never-ending summer afternoon. Some days I can play the day away with no heed for the time. I could explore every room in the manor thrice over, running from every corner to the next. Other days, the hours slinked by, every second dripping by slower than the last. Even the shades couldn't shield the moment from the oppressivity, sticky heat of summer. Ah. Oh, Lord. Every step felt slower than the last. But for adults, is that time? Wait. But for adults, is it that same feeling of being stuck indoors during the longest summer day of the year? But for okay, or is it more akin to sitting in a backed up doctor's office, or watching the fire crackle during the first snow of the year, or waiting on the train that's forever delayed? I'm so sorry for butchering this thing. I'm pretty sure y'all are used to it by now, though. It's annoyingly introspective thoughts like this that creep their way in as I have nothing to do but watch the grandfather clock tick closer and closer to the half-hour mark. A whole half hour I've sat here, waiting for nobody apparently. All of the cordial letters and handcrafted gem samples I've been sent were a sham, or a prank. Once we agreed to meet in person to finalize the business proposal, he hightailed it elsewhere. I clenched the body of my dress, the cloak chimes in mockery of me. Not even a servant has so much as entered the room or hallway to inform me of his tardiness. As the grandfather clock's chime echoes in the room, I glance outside. The day is almost over, but there's still some daylight left. Time better spent outside than in here. I ease my shoulders, promptly standing, and I leave. Okay, we cute. So this is our main MC. She is a vampire, and based off of like the explanation that they sent me, you can either play as a human or a vampire depending on how you progress in the story. So that's interesting. The nerve of him, the gush about how interested he was in my business proposition, to boast about how perfectly handcrafted his gems were, only to stand me up. In another letter from him, wait, if another letter from him arrives, I'm tossing it in the fireplace. I trudge down an alleyway, not wanting to hit the crowds walking down the main street in broad daylight. At the at this time of day, the sun feels its brightest and most headache-inducing. The back alleys, however, are always a pleasant source of shade in an area of town devoid of trees. The shade is perfect on a hotter day like this, but they're also perfect for hiding people. Mm. A darkened figure tags along about a block's length from me. I skip to another alley. He follows. I press against the wall as I pass by a few workers in another alley. Turning at an intersection while I'm obscured behind them, he still follows. Um, I'm gonna let y'all know if the power cuts out in a cut stream. I'll probably wait a little bit and try to come back. Usually I just call it for stream, but since we're playing this game, if the power cuts out, I'll try to come back. I'll have to do something more drastic. I think we should be fine though, but just in case, at least y'all will know what happened. I double back to the first alley, making a long circle, well, square, to get there without running into him. Who chasing us? The stairwell of the building juts out just enough to hide myself with, so I lay in wait there for my pursuer. No one appears from around the corner. Maybe he gave up already. Hm. I lean forward to look down the alleyway, but something tugs on my hair ribbon. Hey! Who are you? What do you think you're doing? Giving chase? Looks more like you're running around and up to no good. You're no fun. What are you doing out so early? I went in to check on things and nobody was around. I see. I want to turn up the... I want to turn up the music volume. Let me see. Okay, I think that should be okay. Okay, yeah, because it was a bit quiet on my end. Actually, it was very quiet on my end. Okay, I think this should be good. Okay, this should be good. Okay, so this should be Lucy, this should be Nemo. Okay, what are you doing out so early? I went in to check on things and nobody was around. I skipped past him. Hey! Come on, I want dinner. He didn't show up, did he? Ooh. He must have thought he was too good for my offer. He'll see he can't get far without help. I grit my teeth. I can feel Nemo looking at me with pity. I don't need your pity. Alright, let's go home. I turned back to grab his arm, but instead I met with a hand pushing down my head. Hey! I'm sorry he was a no-show. He'll find a better fit soon. Just don't try to rush these things. It's not like I'm going to kick you out. You don't even own the place, you moocher. I'm not a moocher. What's his is mine. That's how marriage goes. For someone who avoided commitment like the boogeyman, he sure is bragging about it a lot now. Come on, let's go home. He lends me an arm, leading us out of the alley. The floorboards creak underneath our feet as we step down the hallway to our flat. Darkened wood lines every wall, making the space feel shades darker than it actually is. Most of the other residents should be home by now, winding down for the day. But more so than the sounds of our footsteps, the melody of a violin permeates through the hall. It's soft and cautious, each note more careful than the last. You can practically imagine someone reading from sheet music while playing the notes. There's something a bit relaxing about it, not overwhelmingly loud, but rather something that's arrested into the background. The piece echoes through the walls, making it hard to tell where it's coming from. As we near our own flat, though, the notes stop. I sigh to myself that we won't be able to hear it at dinner. Ooh! Hello, who are you? I'm sorry to hear about that. I've heard so many good things about him. He's the jeweler who made my brooch and cravat, after all. Wait, is this dude with the other dude? Maybe something urgent came up. I'm sure you'll hear it from him the next day or two. Oh my god, look at all these faces. Okay, so this is Cecile. Cecile should be one of the love interests. I think. I know I looked at it, but man, it takes me a minute to remember people's names. How dare he, sending all those buttery letters only to stand you up. You act like it was a marriage proposal. It's a serious crime, that's what it is. It's not that either. It's a nuisance. I stabbed the pork chop on my plate, and they're all suddenly more interested in eating their own meals. The food is rather good, thanks partially to the cooking classes Ambrose is taking, but it just doesn't sit well with me, not tonight. I eat quickly, leaving a little under half of it still on the plate before heading to my room. No, don't waste the food. If the food is good, like at least wrap it up, put it in the fridge for later. That could be lunch tomorrow. Okay. Did y'all hear that? Moonlight slinks through the blinds and across the floorboards. It bounces off my mirror just right to hit my eyes. I must have fallen asleep right after dinner. I don't usually take naps so late in the day. I push myself up on the bed, rubbing my eyes. It may be nighttime now, but I don't think I was asleep for very long. I can hear noises from the other room, so Nemo and Emerald are still awake. Something on my nightstand glints out of the corner of my eye. It's my bottle of pills. A modern marvel of medicine to some and an expensive hoax to others. Emeralds refined to the size of a pill have been found to be a cure for vampirism, effectively negating a vampire's heightened abilities and their dependence on blood. So they just pop in little like emeralds? Oh, that's crazy. Wait, did I do that? Oh, okay. I did this on complete accident, but like, oh, that's pretty cool actually. Okay, let me tell y'all what I did. I was using I accidentally hit the mouse scroller. So you can like scroll your way through it instead of clicking. And then you can go back to things that you missed. Oh, I like that. Okay, now let me get back where I was. Oh, cool. I like that. At just the right size, they can be digested and dissolved into a person's body. Any larger, and they can be poisonous to vampires who are weak to precious gems. Oh. Taking pills regularly can turn any person, no matter how long they've been a vampire, back into a human, but only if they keep up the intake on a regular basis. While they're not a perfect cure and are rather expensive to acquire at a small scale, they are an effective one. I haven't had to drink blood in years. But I also haven't had the use of my heightened physical abilities in years. Look, I don't care what you do as an adult. If you want to be a vampire, then fine. But I want you to wait until you're old enough to make that decision before all your friends start aging faster than you. I'm turning 18 this month. I'm old enough to make my own decisions. I don't need my brother to keep looking out for me. Oh, Nemo's the brother. Okay. I okay. I like how they let you decide. I mean, of course. Um. Oh no, you're good, Haley. How's it going? um. You know what? I'm not gonna take the pill because I want to be a vampire girl. I want to see what happens. We're not gonna take the pill. I pick up the half bottle, shaking it gingerly. The emerald pills are small enough to go inside a ring. I push the bottle into my nightstand drawer. Nemo won't notice immediately if I haven't taken any because they're so small, but he'll notice eventually. What's so wrong with being a vampire? It's not like I'll age so much slower than everyone else. It'll only be at half the rate. Okay, that's still relatively slower. Nemo chose to be with Ambrose despite him staying a vampire. He should be fine with me deciding to be a vampire too. I take one last glance at the bottle as I stand. There are many people still skeptical about the treatment, but Mr. Douglas was fascinated by it. Precious gems have long been a dangerous poison for vampires despite their staying power in ornate jewelry. The thought of using them for medical purposes rather than for looks or for harm intrigued him. Or so I thought. Him standing me up today was the final nail in that coffin. I shouldn't spend the rest of the early night hours sleeping, or else I'll mess up my sleep schedule. Oh, it reminds you of Obey Me? Is it because of like the supernatural part? I haven't played. I'm not sure what the Monica game is, but I used to play Obey Me. I fell off, but like I don't know. I enjoyed it while I was playing it. I just couldn't keep up with all their events. And that's what happened with Affinity Nikki too. I just couldn't keep up. But a few minutes have passed. I'm gonna do another BRB, and hopefully that should be it for the rest of the stream. I need to go get something. Oh, Doki. Oh, only Monica. Okay, I get what you mean. Just Monica. Okay, yeah, Doki Doki Literature Club. Yeah, okay, yeah, I played that one. Yeah, I played that one. But I'm gonna do a quick BRB real quick, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Okay, that should be it for hopefully the rest of the stream. All right. I was thinking about the Doki Doki thing. Back when I played it, I used to be scared of the part where like a little. I used to get jump scared by the Natsuki part. You know, like when her neck snaps and like she runs towards the screen. That part used to creep me out, so I couldn't look at it. But man, that game was wild. Okay, let me make sure I didn't. Okay, all right. Okay, so they don't let me scroll past what I didn't read. They only let me scroll back and then scroll back to where I am. Okay, I guess that's good. So then you don't scroll too far. Okay, I like that. Feel like I was running. All right. Nemo and Ambrose are in the parlor, as I figured. Nemo has hogged all of the candles and minimal light as wait and looks deep into concentration on fixing the radio. Despite the low lighting he's left with, Ambrose is reading the newspaper. With his vampiric sight, he doesn't have to strain to read it. Okay. Oh wait, I think I know why it was. Wait, no, no. Okay. Still, I don't want to be the third wheel the rest of the night. I step out on the balcony. Oh, I didn't see you were out here. No, no, it's all right. Cecile scrambles to his feet, eager to get up off the concrete floor. So, how are you doing? How do you think I'm doing? I can't believe that man standing you up like that. We have to tarnish his name. He'll tarnish it himself in due time, acting like that. And besides, I'm not sure how you of all people will even go about doing something like that. I'll find someone else to work with on it. Maybe I'll reach out to doctors again to gain more public approval before reaching out to manufacturers. I'm sure you can, Lucy. And besides, you can always make Nemo chase after the new leads. So, since this is a sequel, what I do know is that Lucy, the main character, is looking to find a business partner so she can help get the like the antidote to turn vampires into humans out on the market to make it more available for everybody else. And that's what the little like the jar of like the emerald pills were for. So you take them, and if you take enough, then you can fully turn back into a human. But they're very expensive because like it's emerald jewelry, and so it's really hard to get your hands on, especially at that small quantity like that. So she's looking for a way to get it out on the market, and like she's a vampire too, and you can decide if you want to keep taking the pills so she can become a human, or you can not take the pills and she can stay a vampire, stuff like that. So yeah, I think he chased them off more than help. He has enough work to do around campus, but he's insistent on going with me to every business meeting, party, and more. I can't tell if he fancies himself my bodyguard or my sheriff or my chaperone. It's not even his family business. Though, speaking of which, he'll be dealing with all of it soon enough. Huh? Do you think your family never has to renegotiate anything? That their mining privileges are set in stone? That their workers never ask for pay increases or more benefits? That the merchant deals are lifelong? Soon you'll be going, oh Lucy, how did you handle all of this? You're so brave to start so young. I already say that. He huffs, turning back to the night sky. For the past few years, he's had little contact with his parents. No more than greeting cards and letters he's forced to write to them just to show he's alive. Instead of living at their manor several hours away by train, he's lived here to attend school at the kindness of Ambrose. Most of our classes are together, as we're both focusing on business, so we can take on our family's companies. And yet, sometimes it feels like it's hard to get a proper answer out of him when I inquire about his plans for the future. Chin up, you'll get to shadow a local business soon enough. You're lucky you don't have to do that. I've got plenty of real world experience. They'll only let me count it towards classwork rather than letting me finish school early, though. Lucy? His voice is small and short, cutting off his own words almost as quickly as they left him. What is it? Nothing. I reach over and pinch his ear. Ow. It's not nothing if I came to you, so spit it out. I. It was just stupid. Wait, it was just stupid thought, but I was wondering if this is what you really want to do. Again, his words drift off the longer he talks. It is. I've had to live off others' generosity for too long. People who think they owe it to my parents to keep me safe. I want to forge my own path going forward. I want to prove I can be on my own. Then what does that say about me? Huh? I'm sure you'll find a good business partner before long, Lucy. After a moment, it's clear he intends to leave the conversation at that. Cecile's family is from newer money, having made it their living from the mining operations for precious gems. While his ancestors may have sweated it out in the mines, the current generations live by signing deals with property owners, negotiating labor work, refining the gems, and more. The idea of an opportunity has not been lost on me. Every time I bring it up or even mention it, however, he lets the conversation drop. At least it's a nice night out here, isn't it? I match his gaze. Far beyond the rooftop, stars dot the sky above us. They shine back at us vibrantly, almost twinkling. I don't want to be so dependent on others anymore. I just want to build something myself. It's interesting. For all the prestige and respect they hold, the towering spires of the Pradux University do nothing to keep the sun from my eyes. The morning glare is so inconsistent and forceful that most students go out of their way to take the long way around to the east entrance to avoid it. You would think the sun could be more considerate and less intrusive given the number of vampires working and learning on campus. As for Cecile and myself, we often avoid the problem entirely by winding through the gardens and taking shortcuts that only make sense when you're seeing it from the headmaster's apartment. How infuriating. I should be drafting contracts and celebrating now. A rough sigh escapes me, more a sign of exhaustion than anything I'm expecting out of the day ahead. My classes will provide a moment's distraction at the very least. I need to keep my focus sharp and find another prospect quickly. In the future, once Cecile takes over his family's business, we can form a partnership and build a more secure chain of supply. There's no chance of that while his father's in control, unfortunately. If I recall correctly, Elm's family owns a series of retail establishments. I have no idea what business they're in exactly, but if he has some connections... Ambrose is also meeting with the university board soon. If I'm not mistaken, there are several prominent businessmen among the board, including at least 2 wholesalers and renowned doctors. I was gonna say some loose stuff. I would keep the One Piece to myself. Perhaps I could convince Ambrose to arrange a meeting with at least one of them. Wait, Lucy! Cecile, what are you doing back there? There's his glasses. You know, cute. He's a little cutie. Well, to start, I saw that stray cat has been wandering around campus lately. And then by the time I tried to get your attention, you gotten this far ahead of me. I didn't skip nothing, right? Or it just transitioned? Let me check. Okay, yeah, it just transitioned. You know that cat won't pay you any mind no matter how many slices of roast chicken you leave out for it. I wasn't trying to bribe it, I just wanted to show you, but you move so fast when you get lost in thought. I have not much choice in the matter, thanks to recent events. I'll have it sorted out swiftly enough. You definitely will. You'll have all the merchants in the city begging to partner with you before long. And someday I'll be saying the same to you. This doesn't come as easy for me as it does for you, Lucy. He smiles, but I know him too well to leave it at that. He's been so sure of himself lately, but Cecile's more than capable of keeping pace with me, even if he doubts himself. He was up rather late at night, last night, though. It's not often I see him so easily distracted either. I'll have to ask him about it later. Cecile has been my best friend since we were children. I knew it! I knew it! I knew it! Y'all know I'm weak for the childhood best friend character. I am weak! This might be the one. And he always rushes to support me, even when it puts him in danger. I only hope he isn't wearing himself ragged trying to keep up with me now. don't get it. I like the childhood best friend trope, but what makes me irritated about the childhood best friend trope is when they're like, no, I can't reveal my feelings because if they don't feel the same way, it's gonna ruin our friendship. But then they take too long, and by the time somebody else comes around, like the main love interest, the one that the main character usually gets with, they're like, no, you can't be with him. I'll treat you so much better. I've loved you since we were children. And then it's too late by then because main character already fell in love with the other dude. So like, and that's the one thing that I get irritated about. But like, other than that, you know, sometimes I root for the childhood best friend, but I also get mad because it takes them so long. It's only them to blame. But you know, that aside, let's get back to the story. The university gardens are always immaculate. Students and professors alike meander through its hedges, rushing between classes or taking leisurely strolls. It's also haunted, if you believe the rumors spun from mistaken sightings of marble statues in the dead hours of the night. 5 years prior, a series of vampire attacks terrified the campus and kept most from venturing out after dark. I suppose classroom rumors are a sign of critics' recovery from that incident. Who are you? Instead of a ghost, however, I see a tall, pale face beneath the lilac blossoms. Good, I need to catch him before class begins. Are you admiring the flowers, or have you been waiting for us here? Oh, Elm, another love interest. Oh, Lucy. I've shared a class with Elm for half a year now, and he saved both Cecile and I countless headaches in that time. For all the expertise and wisdom kept in these hollowed halls, most of our professors are dead set on explaining things in the most obtuse and unreasonable ways imaginable. Elm has keen talent for translating all of their theoretical jargon into a language anyone can grasp. His family has several holdings in retail business outlets, though now that I think more on it, I don't know much about what they do or what their money comes from, where their money comes from. It's easy to forget details like that when we talk. He always listens intently, and he's consistently surprising even our professors with his insights. Not that you'd know from the detached air about him. Oh, so he's like Zane? Let me see. Uh-oh. I accidentally scrolled. Okay. I gotta be careful about that. No matter what the situation, Elm can always set someone at ease. Most often, I think by taking much of their unease onto himself. Do you have a moment before the professor arrives? I'd like to speak with you about... I'm sorry. His voice is so brittle, it's usually hard to read any of his expressions, but right now he's clearly preoccupied. Not today. What? I'm not in a sound state today. Do you feel unwell? You look the part, no doubt. He shakes his head. Lucy, there's something I'll tell you later. Wait just a minute now. Before I can ask him what's on his mind, he ducks into the classroom and makes his way to the desk. Lucy, what was Elm saying? He seems out of sorts. I'm not sure. It's almost as if he was in shock. You don't think he's caught a summer cold, do you? I almost hope it's as simple as passing sickness, but I never seen that heaviness in Elm's eyes before. Huh, the professor is on her way. Lucy, let's head inside. Yes. Elm trudges ahead and sits down in the back corner of the classroom, far from his usual seat near Cecile and I. What? Now, how you gonna go and sit in a different seat? Don't you know that there are unspoken rules in the classroom? You gotta sit where you usually sit, or else it's gonna throw off the entire classroom. Hey, Burb, how's it going? Uh-oh, I scrolled again. I gotta be careful. How's it going, Burb? I may not get another chance to speak with Elm until after class. Asking about his family business can wait. I won't leave one of my friends languishing like that. Though, I'll admit, it's often hard to read his expressions. Maybe it would be a bad idea to press him on anything now if he's feeling unwell. My nose wrinkles and I force myself to follow along with the professor's droning. Yeah, so this is the demo for Crimson Waves Under the Emerald Sea. Emerine? Emerald. Hold up, I gotta see the word again. Hold up. I'm gonna get it. I promise you, I literally looked up how to. Okay, Amaranthine. Okay, that's what it is. Amaranthine Moon. Crimson waves under the Emerald Sea. Amaranthine Moon. That's how you say it. Okay, I got it. See, I got y'all. But yeah, this is the demo for the new game that they have coming out. This is a standalone sequel to the first game, Crimson Waves Under the Emerald Sea, and it is an otome game. There are three love interests, and you play as the main character who can either be a vampire or a human. She was born a vampire, but throughout the story, you can decide if you want her to become human through like a series of choices. Um, and if you are interested in trying the game, I do have the links on Steam and itch.io. You can try out both of the games, and they're also free. So yeah, I have the links in the description. Okay. Finding Elm after class proves more troublesome than anticipated. He excused himself partway through the lecture and never returned, and now I'm not an inkling of yeah, where he might be. I doubt he's avoiding me in particular, but it doesn't seem as though he's avoiding everyone. Oh, but it does seem as if he's avoiding everyone. In which case, why would he have come to class today at all? I sigh and pace through the campus gardens, borrowing shade from the hedgerows as I consider whether I should keep up the search or let Elm be and turn my focus elsewhere. Perhaps I ought to reach out to another jeweler, though if Douglas calls on me again... Well, he's had his chance. Yeah, don't go back, girl. Oh, Lucy, is there another villain in need of reprimand? It's nothing that drastic. I'll have it all sorted out before long, provided that my brother doesn't fuss over me every step of the way. He's showing us his concern as best as he knows how. You've finished your classes for the day, haven't you? I happen to have a free moment, and I was planning to take a walk into town. I'd be delighted to have you join me. Ambrose offers me his elbow and space beneath his parasol, a gentle but nonetheless insistent invitation. He's far more considerate than his husband. Honestly, Nemo could at least ask before showing up to herd me like a wandering goat. I take Ambrose's arm and fall into step alongside the headmaster as he walks beneath the university's grand archway and toward the center of town. I was considering that myself. I won't refuse the company, though. I can't stay for long. He's hot. Yeah. Yeah, but unfortunately, he's already taken. But yes, very attractive. Very attractive. I think if the demo lets you go on a route a little bit, I don't know if it will or not, or if it's just gonna show you like the prologue to the game story. I'll probably go Cecile's route because I'm weak for a childhood best friend. I like a little cutie patootie. It's been considerably mild of fate, though I hear there's a storm coming in from off the coast. Perhaps I should ask Nemo to fix the window shutters instead of tending to the loose floorboards in the storage hall. Your last meetup went well, I take it. It was the entire board of trustees or just their representative? My, Lucy, you're more perceptive than some of the faculty. Oh, Lord. Okay. Ambrose closes his eyes and smiles softly, which I've come to know as a sign of resignation. I know he would rather we wander aimlessly and take this time to distract ourselves from business, but I can't let even a narrow possibility slip away. You know what? I respect it. This is a girl that knows what she wants in life. She got to get the business done. She knows what she needs to do. She is trying to seal that deal and get this product out there for the public. And you know what? I respect it. I respect it. Yes, the board met earlier than usual. That storm I mentioned will make the roads unfit for travel, and many of them have business outside of Lambert. I don't doubt that you're curious about the manner of business they each maintain, but I can already assure you that they won't be receptive to your ideas, at least not yet. And how could you know that for certain? I may not have graduated yet, but if any of them have any good sense... It isn't a matter of good sense, Lucy. Ambrose sighs as we turn into the busy town square, the sun-battered awnings and ivy-covered eaves keeping us in the cool shade. If I thought any of them might be viable business partners or even simple investors, I would have introduced you already. In truth, most of them are keenly interested in the prospect of a cure for vampirism, and their interest hasn't waned over the years. And that's exactly why I like to speak to them. They're each from well established and influential families with ties to industries across the region, are they not? Lucy, they are interested, but they're even more cautious of anyone proffering a miracle treatment. It's too soon. I promise you that I'll arrange a meeting with the head of the Tradesman's Guild once you have more momentum. But rushing now will only make them skeptical of your ideas. Huh, do you really think I couldn't convince them? I'm living proof after all. What room could they have for doubt when I'm testing the cure on myself? Ambrose pauses in the center of the street, and the crowd parts around us, as if we're standing on a small boulder in the middle of a rushing stream. One of our trustees is also the head of the Trade Guild. Years ago, his only son took ill when accompanying him on a business trip. The child had a weak constitution already, and his father feared that this new wasting cough and fever might kill him. In his desperation, he listened to doctors, healers, apothecaries, and even a few spiritualists who claimed to have divined a prescription through automatic writing. His son's condition worsened, always seeming to improve only for his fever to soar even higher after each treatment. Desperation drives us to take great risk. Eventually, he agreed to let a surgeon perform an experimental procedure on his son, and the results were not good. His son survived, and eventually doctors discovered a tincture that could help treat his condition, but the surgery left him without the use of his right hand. To this day, the boy's father blames himself for his son's injury. Whether you're considering an unknown disease, an inconvenient blemish, or even something largely beneficial like vampirism, people like him are too cautious of any potential miracle cure to throw support behind anything unproven. I wouldn't. That's hardly the same. I have proof, and you and the others can vouch for its authenticity. The truth won't be enough, and they don't have the heart to trust it. That gentle smile on his face is so infuriating. Unlike my brother, Ambrose is always forthcoming and carefully crafts his arguments. He's always respected my ambition and my talents, which is why I hate it when he's right about things like this. The old merchants and business owners aren't often swayed by proof alone, Lucy. They want to see the flow of people and markets before they act. It's not enough that medicine works, and they also want to make sure people will trust it. Doctors will prescribe it, and suppliers can produce it. I can already feel my senses sharpening again. I wasn't expecting my vampirism to return so quickly, but at this rate, perhaps, it would only take another few days before I could use my blood arts again. That would be more than enough to prove myself a vampire, and then? No, I need something more reliable than that. I can feel my grip tighten around Ambrose's arm, but he says nothing. Relaxing again, I take a step forward as he matches my pace. See, we didn't take our pills last night. Someday, I'm certain it will be as simple for a vampire to become a human as it is to alter the physical changes of adolescence. The trustees are all people of great influence, and I promise that in time they will believe you. There's no need to rush. You'll make progress faster if you pace yourself. Thank you for your advice and your concern. I'm more than comfortable at this pace, however. I'll have the groundswell I need to speak with bigger investors soon enough. She's very optimistic. Speaking of which, have you not heard anything from Douglas yet? He seems worried, far more than I expected he would be overhearing about a missed appointment. Unfortunately, I can't afford such sympathies right now. Not a word, but it hardly matters. I won't waste any more ink on unreliable cads like him. That's concerning. I could understand if he didn't contact you yesterday evening, but to ignore you in the afternoon? Perhaps he's taken ill. We aren't far from his offices, if you'd like to stop in. A waste of time, I expect. Thank you, though. I am grateful in spite of the circumstances. Ambrose could hardly bear any blame for a jeweler's negligence, though I'm sure he feels some responsibility since he's the one who vouched for Douglas as a trustworthy prospect. I'll consider it once I'm taking care of other business. I'm sure it's a simple misunderstanding. A bell chimes above to mark the quarter hour. Ambrose waits patiently as the sound fades into the din of the town square, then gestures back toward the university. It's Seems I'm out of time, unfortunately. I got another appointment soon, so I'll be heading back. Are you returning to campus as well? No, I think not. I'll see you tonight at dinner, Ambrose. Of course, it should be a crown of lamb, provided I'm not held up by the faculty. Goodbye for now. Have you ever had lamb? It's actually pretty good. I tried it once, it was pretty good. Ambrose turns, and I let the shadow of his parcel slip away, leaving me in the sun. It's brighter than expected, nearly as bright as it was in my childhood. The afternoon crowds have filled the town square, with laborers and tradesfolk winding through the bakeries and market stands on their lunch break. Carriage wheels and newly shod horses leave a dull staccato in the air as they pass on another in the street. Shop bells ring one after another. A large fountain babbles wait, conversationally to the people gathered around it, and in the distance, a small crowd applauds. Let me go get some water. Gotta hydrate so I won't be a dried fishy. The music is nice though. I consider that Douglas's office is on the far end of the square, but the sound of a violin catches my ear. Is that what warranted the applause I heard? There's something both immediately familiar and uncanny. I never heard the song before, and certainly never in this place, but the melody feels eerily nostalgic. I suppose a skilled performer can evoke all sorts of emotions in their audience. Let's see what sort of person this fiddler is. The quick triplets and rich vibrato echo through the plaza, but actually seeing past the gathered crowd is becoming a hassle. A group of taller men in particular stand right in the middle, and I have half a mind to drag them to the back of the audience. There are people behind you, you dolts. Tall people, get into the back. People can't see. I reach forward to pry the wall apart when the fiddler strikes a sharp chord and leaps up onto the fountain's edge. Oh? Oh, he's getting me ask. They raise their violin up and their fiddlers dance across his necks. Whatever you did. Okay, they raise their violin up and their fingers dance across its neck. The audience claps to keep time. A bubbling warmth rises in my chest, and I can't look away. They wear a mask, but they're clearly quite handsome. Their slicked back hair shines in the afternoon sun, and their hands cradle their instrument with a fierce delicacy. And the sound, I don't know where they were trained, but they're bursting with energy as if they can't help but draw their bow across the strings. It's enchanting. I've attended a fair number of performances in my life, from dull chamber orchestras to unaccompanied singers in a roadside tavern. It's been years since I've heard a performance so desperate and impassioned as this. It's almost as if they're gasping for breath at the violin, and that violin is the only air they can breathe. Finally, the middle-aged man bearing my path steps aside, and I move a bit closer to the front for a better look at this masked fiddler. Our eyes meet for a moment behind their mask, and their bow hangs for half a beat too long. They hop back down to finish the song. Before I can find them again, a round of applause rings out, and the people around me plead for an encore. Encore! Encore! The clasp of an instrument case clicks shut. Are they leaving already? I need to get their name, at the very least. A musician with that level of passion and talent could do better than busking in the square. And I wouldn't mind hearing them play privately for me either. Wait! Is that Michael Myers? Michael Myers changed careers and he became a musician. He now plays violin on the streets instead of doing crime. There's no path forward. Eventually, the crowd breaks and people start dispersing in a dozen directions. By the time I reach the fountain's edge, the masked fiddler is gone. Tuxedo Mask! I say to catch my breath. That's likely for the best. I almost let myself get carried off track. Handsome musicians are a hazard in many ways. I wonder what the business prospects are like for the agents and representatives of popular performers. Aren't you already taking on enough work as it is? Uh-oh. I'm more capable than I was when I was when I was a child, Nemo. More capable of running yourself ragged, maybe. I glower at him. And what have you come into town to fetch? Nemo lifts a bundle of meat wrapped in butcher's paper. A crown, apparently. Come on, I'll walk you back unless you still got business here. No. I sigh and let my shoulders sink. Let's go then. I'm getting hungry. You know this is for dinner, right? Don't worry, I'm not going to eat your husband's crown. Nemo holds his arm out, and I take it as we move through the den of afternoon traffic. In a short while, we're back at the apartment, and I'll need to start drafting more inquiries and preparing samples. I'll consider what Ambrose said earlier. If I can secure a reliable supply of gems, then I can prove the treatment's effectiveness more easily. The evening will pass uneventfully, and by week's end, I'll forget all about Douglas's audacity and insult. But that clam, unremarkable future doesn't come to pass. Calm. Oh Lord, I said clam. As we wind through the square and emerge from an alley, I catch a glimpse of the building where Douglas keeps his office. 5 police officers gather around the open doorway in a huddle while other officers filter in and out of the narrow hallway. Stray phrases catch my ear. One officer says, "He's been here a few hours." Another says something like, "already going cold." Found him earlier today, possibly since. A carriage rumbles past and drowns the rest of the phrase. A chill sweeps over me and my feet pull me toward the ominous chatter. No reassurance or comfort are waiting for me in that office, nor in overhearing the officers outside. Even so, I walk closer. A rush of foot traffic floods into the street as passengers head for a train platform. In the chaos, it's easy to slip away and duck behind an oncoming carriage before Nemo can even notice I've gone. The clock chimes at the top of the hour a moment before I reach the doorway. Outside, the police are still chattering about how hard it will be to cordon off the area and turn away gawkers. They don't seem too concerned with all the people passing in and out of the main building, though. It's almost embarrassing that I could slip in so casually without drawing a second glance. Douglas's office occupies the ground level of a fairly new yet imposing building close to the center of Lambert. See if the neighbors have heard anything first, and then finish documenting the scene. Yes, sir! And you there, check the locks on all the windows for tampering. This one's looking a lot like Fairfield case. I hear an officer's voice coming from an open doorway to my left. He continues, but I can't follow his words anymore. My eyes fall to a prone rigid from draped across the sofa near the back of the room. Oh, okay. One of the officers steps aside, and the face of a corpse stares back at me with gaunt and glassy eyes. The officer's chatters confirm my fear. The man I was supposed to meet yesterday evening is lying dead in his office with blood caked around his lips and staining his tie. Oh, business partner is dead. Someone there? Clear out. This is a crime scene. No gawkers. My legs move before I can think clearly. Douglas is dead? How? When? The nearest doorknob is already in my hand. Good, it's unlocked. My shin slams into a low table and I tumble backward into an armchair. The sunlight stings my eyes as if I hadn't suffered insult enough, and then my vision adjusts. I've often felt the unnerving sensation of reliving memories in a dream. It's never happened to me in the waking world, though. A grandfather's clock chime echoes through the room. I glance outside and the sun is still high above the rooftops. I clench the hem of my dress. I'm back in the same seat I occupied less than a day ago, waiting to finalize a business deal with the man now lying dead less than a dozen feet away. My mind swirls and my memories fray. Was Douglas already dead by the time I arrived last night? Did he die while I waited here, never realizing? On the way in, I saw 5 coffers, and inside, 3, maybe 4 others. My breath catches in my throat. Natural deaths, no matter how tragic, don't draw this level of scrutiny. Murder, I like to be overreaching and leaping to unreasonable conclusions, but I can still recall the odd figure I chased through the alleyways last night. Did they see me? Did they know I was here? Was Douglas being killed as I sat in this chair? Stray syllables leak out of the neighboring room. but I can't hear anything complete. If I press my ear to the wall, though. Who's there? I turn my face away from the wall and grip the arms of the chair so firmly that my nails nearly rip the upholstery. Oh, hello. It's Elm. Oh, my apologies. I wasn't aware anyone had an appointment today. This is crossing over to the absurd. Why is Elm here? And why has the change in his outfit completely since he was in class? Changed his outfit completely. I hope you've not been waiting long. No, I only arrived moments ago. Good. Can I pour you some? I can pour you some tea if you like. No, thank you. If I may ask, go right ahead. What exactly are you doing here? Elm smirks. He's never smirked, at least not that I've seen. I'm afraid you have me at a disadvantage, if I may. What? He reaches forward, and before I can stop him, he's lifting my fingers to his lips. Elm? Ah, you've met my brother. Sorry for the confusion. What? Brother? Elm never mentioned having a brother, let alone a twin. Why wouldn't he have brought that up? Despite the circumstances, I'm charmed to make your acquaintance. I'm Rowan, currently the head of my family's business and estate as of this morning. Oh. So two of the love interests are brothers? Oh, Lord. The turntables. Let me stop. At a glance, he looks just like Elm, but the air around him is completely different. From the slight smirk tugging at his lips to the confidence in his posture, he holds himself with incredible assertiveness and poise. I allow him to take my hand in greeting, but I can barely keep track of what he says. Elm is his brother? Mr. Douglas was their father? That would explain Elm's behavior earlier. He must be grief-stricken. But meanwhile, his brother doesn't betray a trace of sadness. Why didn't Elm mention his twin to me? And why is Rowan taking all of this in such an easy stride? Pleased to meet you, Rowan. My name is Lucy, and I'm sorry for your loss. It's unfortunate, yes, but I've already had time to grieve. More importantly, I've been settling my father's outstanding business, and I do hope you're still interested in pursuing our options together. He's cute. At that, he closes his hands around mine and flashes a reckless grin. How brazen. I can see he takes after his father in that regard. I'm relieved that you came by. I saw one of your recent letters among my father's papers, and I was hoping to run into you eventually so that I might apologize in person. Oh, and hear your proposal. Why did it pause like that? I'm relieved to hear it. About your father. Rowan shakes his head, sullen but not unsettled. My father puts his work first at all times, even to the detriment of his health. He kept unreasonable hours and regularly worked himself to the point of exhaustion at his desk. So, in a way, I've been expecting this to happen almost every day for years. Kinda suspicious, Rowan. Kinda suspicious. A colleague of ours also died under suspicious circumstances recently, so I'm sure the coppers are just taking every precaution. I think my father was always in the greatest danger from himself. My condolences. A writhing, coiling knot rises in my stomach. I'm still reeling from Douglas's death, and the prickling unease left over questions about Ellen and Rowan. Is their family business even stable right now? Is Rowan trustworthy? I have to sort it out later. At present, I need to know exactly why the police are here in such force, and I doubt that figure fleeing the scene last night was just a harmless bystander. If you have everything in order, shall we continue the discussions of our potential partnership? Unfortunately, the day after tomorrow is the earliest I could give you the intention you and your ideas deserve. Oh, the day after tomorrow, that's acceptable. Thank you for your understanding. Even though I fully expected my father to work himself into an early grave, I need a bit more time to make arrangements for his funeral. Rowan smiles easily, but despite his confidence and aplomb, he can't hide the crooked knot in his tie or stray loose buttons on his cuffs. I wonder if he's taking his father's death worse than he appears. Though I still don't see why the police would be so interested in a jeweler's natural death, no matter how untimely. You have my sympathies. What time should I meet you then? You're pretty forward, you know? I'm not fond of delays unless they're absolutely necessary. A woman of ambition and charm. Let's meet at my family's manor after breakfast. It's close to the university, and we'll waste less time stepping aside for the conference. Perfect. I'll look forward to formalizing our partnership then. As will I, Miss Lucy. Rowan bows deeply, raising his face to meet my eyes and flashing that reckless grin of his once more. He certainly inherited his father's sense for flattery. In the window just behind the grandfather clock, I notice Nemo searching for me among the afternoon crowds. I'm not feeling at ease with the police lingering so close by either, so it's time I head back. Thank you again. It's a pleasure to meet you in spite of the circumstances. I'll take my leave. Of course, and we'll speak again soon. I leave the small meeting room quietly, and then hurry down the hall, slip behind the coppers, and grab Nemo by the arm to pull him into an alley. Hey, Lucy, what's going on? Where did you disappear to? Douglas's office. And you couldn't have just told me where you were going? Something caught my attention. Did you notice the suspicious figure I chased through the alleyways last night when you found me? Yeah, because that was me. Were you trying to catch a burglar to pass the time? That was you? Well, in any case, it wasn't a burglary. In fact, this whole affair might be more involved than I anticipated. Nebo can be overprotective at times, but he knows when to listen, and he's fairly good at it when the mood strikes him. And so he listens as I tell him everything I saw, the condition of Douglas's body, Rowan's sudden appearance, and the murmurs I heard from the police. They wouldn't be putting this many coppers on the scene if they thought Douglas's death was natural, would they? Probably not. I heard something else too. I look up at Nemo and he returns a pensive glare. I know that looked pretty well. He's warning me not to dive head first into something dangerous. What was it? I heard a detective mention that another jeweler by the name of Fairfield was found dead last week. I feel my breath catch. I know that this could be a coincidence. Maybe the coppers are leaping to conclusions and there's no connection. But if there is, and if two prominent jewelers in Lumberg died within a week of one another, who could be responsible and why? Wait, did I read it wrong? Is that Laurenburg? Hold up, back up. Oh, it is Laurenburg. Oh, Lord. Okay. I was playing tricks on me. We talk about possibilities and contingencies all the way home. Not that Nemo knows how to navigate business with the requisite delicacy. We part at the university gates, and for the next several hours until nightfall, I try and fail to find any trace of Elm. We got a murder mystery on our hands. I feel like it's somebody who doesn't want the antidote for turning vampires into humans to go out to the public. Maybe it's like a vampire or something. Just like, no, we can't lose our vampires always caving into humans. Blah 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 blah. I don't know. I'm just talking. What an exhausting day. It feels as though I woke up a full week ago and I've been running without rest since then. Of everything that happened, though, I find that there's one in particular that won't leave my mind. Oh, we got some choices. What worries could be on Cecile's mind as of late? Seems so distraught. I want to check on him tomorrow. Rowan and his oddly relaxed demeanor. Oh, the handsome fiddler in the town square. Let me see. I do want to talk to Cecile, but I'm also curious about the fiddler. Because, what if the fiddler is someone responsible for the murder? So, what if they know something? I'm going to do this one. That fiddler in the town square was so enchanting. In the midst of a tumultuous day, that brief moment when I listened to the performance was a desperate needed respite. I'm shocked that I've never seen someone so skilled around the city before. Have they only arrived in Laurenburg recently? See, I said it right this time. I haven't heard any new performing tropes or orchestral companies passing through. I suppose they could be a lone traveler, though. That mess they wear isn't common either. I wonder if. Oh, that's enough. I can't while away the night daydreaming about handsome musicians, for heaven's sake. If I'm fortunate, perhaps I'll hear their music again. For now, though, I should rest and recover from today's events. Thinking any further will only tie my brain into knots, and I've not the time to untangle that. And more than that, even these thoughts can't keep the ghastly image of Douglas's lifeless face from intruding into my memory. Sleep will help. Yes, I'll sleep, and I can only hope that tomorrow is a calmer day. Nostalgia can be an insidious thing. It's all too easy to hold fondness for memories when the pain of the moment dulls and you remember only the simple sweetness and thrill. One particularly bright summer morning, on particularly bright summer mornings, I catch myself getting wistful as I think about the time I spent darting through empty classrooms on campus, hiding out in haylofts and scouring back alleys while I searched for answers. In spite of any excitement I felt 5 years ago when Cecile and I planned stakeouts to search for my parents' killer, my memory of that time is still stained with tears. Whenever I feel nostalgic pain as I pass by a classroom and recall the fun I had roaming free in Laurenburg, I remember how many nights I spent crying myself in the restless sleep. I don't even remember my parents properly, and just learning of their deaths devastated me. Tears and clenched fists and barred fangs and reckless adventure all led me to an even more painful answer at the end. Grief never follows a convenient course. There are rarely simple villains whose dispatch will close all your open wounds. Elm and Rowan lost their father just hours ago. A father they both knew and spoke to every day. No, perhaps that's not right. I don't actually know anything about Elm's relationship to his family, do I? In all the time we've known one another, he never mentioned that he has a twin or that his father was a prospective business partner of mine. I'm sure I mentioned the deal to him at least once while we were studying after class. In all the time we'd taken to know one another, he never mentioned that he has a twin or that his father was a prospective business partner of mine. I'm sure I mentioned the deal to him at least once while we were studying after class. Rowan's face keeps coming to mind as well. He was charming, inviting even. If I hadn't seen his father's corpse moments before we met, I might have even had butterflies in my chest. That familiar mixture of confusion, excitement, and mystery on the edge of terror fills the space between my thoughts again. Sitting at the front of a classroom, I can't keep the whirl of memory and curiosity from distracting me. If Rowan was so unfazed and moved on so quickly from his father's death, was their relationship really that bad? If so, then why is Elm so distraught? Even now, I can tell he's barely paying attention to the professor. Though, if he's close to his father, why has he never mentioned either his family or his sibling? Of course, the most salacious possibility could be true. I already entertained and dismissed the notion that Rowan has killed his father to take over the family business, and that Elm was living in fear of what might happen to him in the aftermath. I don't know, that's what it seemed like, but I feel like that's a little too straightforward, you know? It might be another party involved. It could be that musician. It was my first and immediate suspicion after leaving Douglas's office, but Nebo and I both agreed that it was unlikely at least. If Rowan were the killer, he could have chosen a far more convenient time and method that would draw less suspicion onto himself. I'm not fully convinced that he is innocent, of course, but I like to believe him. Perhaps I'm just extending goodwill to him because of my concern for O. That will be all for today. We'll be discussing the next treaties of currency exchange later this week. You may call upon me if you have questions. In the meantime, dismissed. Look at everybody. Oh, wait there. Don't go nowhere. Yesterday, I met your twin, Rowan. A twin brother? Truly? Why didn't you tell us? Does he attend school here too? I didn't. There's been a lot happening lately. Yes, I heard about your father. I'm sure you've had your reasons, but why did you keep all of that a secret from us? I may be entering into business with your brother, and I want to know. I stopped suddenly, and the rails of my thoughts vanished beneath me. What am I expecting of him now? What is it that I really want to know? I don't know. Elm looks exhausted and anxious. There's a miserable icy weight in the pit of my stomach. And why do I feel so incensed? It's nothing worth mentioning. We should get going. There's another class coming soon, and is that true? Wait a moment. Lucy, do you mean that scoundrel who stood you up is Elm's father? I need. I'm sorry. I need to go. There's an appointment and. Elm backs away as he stammers out his words, his eyes never meeting my own. I reach to grab his shoulder, but he's even quicker than I expected. That brother is gone! He leaves Cecile and I standing in the midst of of other students, filtering through the classroom door like water over a weir. Let's follow him. I'm worried about where he might wander. I think I'll leave him to you, Lucy. Cecile gives me a sheepish smile and ducks away. I forgot something earlier, so I'll stop by town to fetch it. Don't wait up for me. What did you forget? I can lend you my books if you need. I don't think Cecile is even listening by now. Is he anxious about excavating Elle's family's secrets? Yo, that brother's gone! He hurries away, waving an apology as he goes. Wait, Cecile! He doesn't wait, though. And there was soot in his knuckles that closes off any room for doubt. He's absolutely hiding something, and knowing Cecile, he's liable to get in over his head before he realizes he should ask for help. Well, I'm not about to let him leave at that. Accepting that I can see Elm already makes his way into the hall. If I lose sight of him now, I may not be able to find him again until the day after tomorrow. Oh! I want to talk to Elm. I don't know. I like all of the characters so far. I like a little shy boy. Let's go after Cecile. Elm is most likely headed to his manor. I have no reason to hesitate. Cecile could be caught up in something dangerous, and if not, he needs to answer for himself, ignoring me and running off. He's faster than I remembered. By the time I turn into the hallway, I can barely hear his footsteps fading in the distance. Not as though he can keep ahead of me for long. We both know all the shortcuts to campus, but Cecile doesn't have the nerve to jump from second-story balcony. Hey, I caught you! A flawless landing and without a strained stitch on my dress. Cecile no doubt is impressed, judging by his slackened jaw. Lucy, what are you doing? That's dangerous. And how much more dangerous is it than whatever you're getting up to? I'm not doing anything dangerous. Cecile. His face relaxes and he ruffles his hair with one hand, more abashed than evasive. I really did forget something in town. I only thought that you'd be following Elm and not worrying about me. I'll hear Elm out another time. He did lose his father just last night, so I suppose I might have pressed him too hard. You're my best friend, Cecile. Did you think I wouldn't so much as ask when you rushed off like that? He offers me an arm. Shall we head into town then? By all means. Go hang out with the bestie. And while you were waiting in the neighboring room? Lucy, what if the killer had been about? I hardly expect they would have given me a second glance. Rowan isn't convinced that his father was murdered either, so it's just likely to be a case of the coppers leaping headlong into misapprehension. As I expected, Cecile's keen to hear every detail about Douglas's death and my prospective partnership with Elm's brother. For his part, Cecile tells me that he's lost the letter he was carrying yesterday, and it most likely fell from his pocket when he cut through the back alley on his way home. Regarding the suit on his knuckles, Cecile claims he had no idea how that happened, and he seems sincerely distressed. That's just like him. It will be simple enough to wipe the ash away with a handkerchief and let the matters be forgotten. Cecile is my best and dearest friend, even if he were keeping something from me. I'm confident it will only be something so small he'd never thought it was worth mentioning. A quick pinprick of guilt sticks through the hem of my thoughts. I haven't told Cecile I stopped taking my pills yet, and I don't want to keep it from him for much longer. And I can scarcely imagine what led him to keep having a brother. Wait, yeah, a brother from us, let alone a twin. Yes, looking back now, he's always been hesitant to talk to his family. Do you think there's something treacherous about them? Elm is so considerate and gentle. I could imagine him distancing himself from his family if they were an unsavory sort. He must have had a reason for hiding that from us. And this business with his father's death makes it even more suspicious. There's a wealth of banal possibilities that could explain why he wouldn't want to talk about his family. No, I suppose that's true. I hardly like talking about mine, after all. Cecile's smile carries an unfamiliar weight. I'll admit it's not always easy for me to understand what it's like to have a family so distant and cold as Cecile's parents are to him. His parents communicate through control, and if they hold any affection, they never shown it. By his own admission, he's seen as nursemaid Alice more often than either his mother or father. Ever since we came to stay with Ambrose and my brother, he's had a measure of freedom. Well, apart from his coursework, he studies only what's necessary for him to take over his family business someday. Oh, here we are, Lucy. This is where I must have lost that letter. Here, Cecile. What were you doing here? He's leading us into a narrow alley, not one particularly well trafficked nor convenient as a cut through back to campus. It's quiet enough, partially filled with workman apartments and smaller shops with dust-caked windows and withered signs. On closer inspection, several of these storefronts seem to be derelict, if not on their way to closure. It's no surprise, given that this is the side street of a side street some distance from the town square. I may have gotten a bit lost again. You've got a terrible sense of direction for someone with such a good memory. They're completely different things. I can't remember the way if I've never been somewhere before. What sort of letter was it that you lost? I'm not sure. And how's that? It's from my father. I hadn't opened it yet. Excuse me, young sir. A tall, crumpled man with the countenance of a gaunt mouse calls to us, and I nearly smack him with the back of my hand in surprise. Don't jump out of doorways and dark corners like that. Oh, he kinda cute. I wouldn't have apologized if I hadn't knocked his jaw loose. He looks meek, but not of meager means, and Cecile's face lights with recognition. Silas! We have a Silas. Silas, I forgot that your laboratory was on the street. How have you been? Cecile, you know this man? And what sort of laboratory would one keep in the back alley like this? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me introduce you both. Lucy, this is Mr. Silas. He's a chemist I met through my family's work. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. Excuse my curiosity, but what business would a chemist have with a mining operation? Oh, magnitudes! It's nothing breathtaking, but there are several chemical processes used to easily separate certain ores and minerals from stone, or gather particles of metal from a slurry. I knew that, of course, but I only heard vague details. A friend of mine from the university is also studying to be a chemist. I should ask her about this when I get the chance. When I get a chance. Yes, Silas tests new chemical solutions, and my father purchases the formulas sometimes. I ran into him while... Cecile hesitates briefly, mouth twitching uneasily. While I was wandering around town a few days ago. It's incredible what you can do with a few vials of acid, really. It is. Though expensive and, sad to say, a deadly hazard if you don't take precautions. I'm sorry if I startled you, by the way. I saw you both looking around and wondered if you might have lost something. Oh, that's right, Silas. Have you seen a sealed letter around? I lost it coming this way last evening. Yes, in fact, I did pick up something late last night on my way home. I'm not sure if it's your letter, but let me fetch it for you. What a relief. Lucy, shall we wait inside? Oh, no, you better stay out here. The vapors from my last solution are still clearing, and you burn your nose just standing around. I'll be back in only a moment, I promise. Yes, of course. Thank you, Mr. Silas. You, the brothers go. The gangly stalk of a man disappears into a sour-smelling apartment, and I notice Cecile peering inside as the door closes. Do you think he's alright in there? It smells like sulfur and death. I doubt it, but he seems to manage alright. Excuse me there. Cecile and I glance over our shoulders to find a rough looking man with an oversized jacket sauntering up behind us. Oh no! I'm more than familiar with the signs of vampirism, and this man isn't exactly hiding any of them. He's clearly trying to intimidate us. My fists clench, and I can feel my gloves stretched taut. What a petulant cad. Oh, you both coming to collect from Silas, too? You best wait your turn. He owes me first, and whatever money he's fetching for you high society folk will have to wait till he's settled up with me. Wait, he's only fetching a letter. I forgot. We aren't here for money or anything like that. Though I doubt you'd believe us. What does Mr. Silas owe you for in your account? I'm like his landlord in a way. He works with noxious stuff. It smells absolutely sickening every day of the week. I do my part to keep the peace and shoo the vandals away. And a kindly leech such as yourself just took it upon yourself to protect him from the threat of neighborly complaints. Yes, and if you got an issue with that, of course we do. That's extortion. A violent crunching echoes through the otherwise quiet back street. The man has slammed his fist into a brick wall between Cecile and myself, cracking the corner of the building and sending a few shards of masonry flying by my face. Oh, you wanna go? I throw hands with you. I don't care if you're a vampire, let's go. Let me get the iron cross or whatever. A shard of brick grazes Cecile's face. No, fortunately, he doesn't bleed. If this man had drawn Cecile's blood, I wouldn't have him. Then I'll take it you'd like to contribute to this balance. I think we'll be closing this account. Memory is fallible, but some memories are far less than others. Dates, places, people, and even secrets all momentarily compared to the ironclad memory of the muscle of the steel. Even after 5 years, and with my physical strength not yet fully returned, I know exactly how to use my powers with the greatest effect. I don't need to think or prepare for a single extortion is flying back in his knee and left. Ooh, get him! Ooh, blood splatter. It probably helps that I keep gathering into the scraps and learn some boxing in my spare time. But none of that bubbles to the surface as quickly as the memory of swimming in my blood. The man staggers back, wailing as he clutches his left side and right shoulder. It's as though he's already looking around for a convenient escape route. He clambers to his feet and bounds past the carry worker. Well, I'm not about to let such a villain run free. Come on, Cecile, let's go. But he glances back aside to the door before I grab his arm and hurry after my assailant. Lucy, just run. We'll talk later. I was worried for a moment that the ruffian might have put up more of a fight, but what a relief. A rude vampire was a brazen coward, scampering away with what I call unbridled malice and a few minutes. I could catch him easily on my own, but I can tell Cecile's pushing himself and straining to keep up. Our hands are clutched tightly, and just as when we were running through the garden, we ducked around the work ladder, slipped between the carriages, and there was the bakery door flung open without warning. Past the teeming crowd, the road splits to the left and right to run along the seat wall of a lower level of the city. The extortionist leaps over the short fence and vanishes from sight. We need to hurry if we want to catch up, and I can't spare a moment to tell Cecile what's about to happen. Hopefully he has a strong grip. Don't let go of my hand. What? Humans can never hope to jump 40 feet or more down a sheer wall, but for a vampire, it's a trivial exercise. Pulling Cecile up into the air. Ah! Hoping I'm right style. I catch him in my arms and leap clear the short fence designed to keep children from straying too close to the sheer drop. Now that we're safely on the ground, I let him down and both captured. Man, my girl is strong. I scan the area quickly and prepare to take off again, but seems like he's gotten away from us. There's no sign of our quarry among the dense afternoon crowds, and with dozens of shops and apartments around us, it would be a fool's errand to keep up the chase. Cecile, however, hasn't been looking for the real vampire. His eyes are fixed on me, and I know what he must be thinking. Uh-oh. I knew I couldn't keep it from him for long, but I didn't expect he'd find out like this. Yeah, I wasn't taking my pills. Lucy, that's almost how you used to fight when you were a vampire. You stopped taking your pills, haven't you? Yes, or at least I skipped the last dose. Does that mean that you decided to be a vampire after all? I just wanted to see how it felt again. I don't know, I'm still not sure. I need to see how long it took for the cure to fade. Um, we can do this one. I need to see how long it took for the cure to fade. It wasn't planned, of course, but if I'm going into the business of proffering a way to reverse vampirism, I better know the details. In fact, it may be a bit concerning for anyone seeking a permanent cure that it only took a day and a half for my vampiric strength to steadily return. Oh, I haven't considered that. In fact, it's been 5 solid years since you started the treatment, and you say you only skipped a single dose? That's right, and better to know that in advance than find out at an irate customer. I don't have the full scope of my senses yet, mind you, and I doubt I can use any blood arts right now. She's a blood bender. But I'm also the first person, at least insofar as any of us could find, to attempt this. Could it be? Cecile screws up his face, pondering aimlessly as he catches his breath. That you simply have to keep taking the emeralds indefinitely to remain human? There are certainly other illnesses where treatment lasts for the rest of your lifetime. While that may be true and would be a boon to my future business, it won't be easy to convince skeptical patients. In fact, I'm painfully aware of how similar this sounds to the to the con artists peddling turpentine and arsenic as miracle drugs in the square. The safety and ease of reversal are benefits, but the cost and need for absolute consistency, I'll have to draft a fewer plans to account for this. So then, does that mean that you're planning to take the pills again? Perhaps I haven't decided yet. Maybe it would be prudent to keep testing this and see what happens if I stop for a while. Lucy, you've got such a head for business. I'm sure things will turn out incredibly for you. Well, of course they will, and you'll be along soon enough yourself. You're keen and intensely creative, so I'm certain you'll do well. I do wish. If I had even a fraction of the talent you think I do. What was that? Did you say something, Cecile? Oh, only that I think we should head home for now. I have class later I should prepare for. Yes, of course. It was unmistakable just now. There is something weighing on Cecile, and I think the letter he jotted might have something to do with it. With no chance of finding the offending vampire, we quit. We quit the city center and head back for the university grounds. Drink some water. All right. Cecile leaves for an evening class, and I return home to draft a few possible cost projections. Now that I can confirm that 5 years of consistent dosage won't permanently reverse vampirism. I've also got to look over my letters with Douglas to prepare for my meeting with Rowan tomorrow. Night falls quickly and then seems to stretch on for ages through Ambrose's dinner of coq au vin. I probably butchered that. And beyond my hurried scrawling on ledger paper in the low lamplight. I fall into bed just before midnight, and at the edge of sleep, I hear the balcony door unlatch as Cecile steps inside. Wait, they say outside? Boop, boop, boop. All right. So that is as far as the demo goes on this part, but I don't think we're done. I'm pretty sure there's more dialogue. I did say that I would play the full demo. So I'm going to try to like poke around as many different routes as I can in the demo. because it's only been like an hour and a half ish, probably. So I know there's more to see. So I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. I like the story so far. I do like the story. It's a very interesting otome game. I have to tell my friend because she's the one that usually plays a lot of like visual novel otome games. She plays a lot of the visual novel ones, so I don't know. I might recommend this to her and see if she likes it. But yeah. I know she plays a lot of the visual novels, but I like this so far. I think the only thing I know it's just me and it's nothing that important whatsoever, but like I wish the backgrounds were very detailed. I know it takes a lot to do all this stuff. Like I know, and like it's a little indie game company. I don't know. I don't know. I guess like me, personal preference, because like the character models look so good. I want a good background to go with them. But like, I like the story so far. It's very interesting. I have not played the first game. In fact, this is my first time hearing about this game series. But like, I like it. I like it so far. I like it so far. Um, I probably should have saved back when we did the first part, but I don't think it should be no issue getting back to it. Um, okay, this is what it is. Oh, demo service. Demo survey. I might fill it out later. I might give it a little fill out. But I think for me, I did see like I did see like I know the way I was reading it, I might have skipped over some words, but I did like see like maybe like one or two little text typos. But like other than that, or maybe it's just me, but I think I saw like something in there, like maybe a word was missing or something like that. But I don't know. I think it's interesting. Let me see. All right, we back to the start. Okay. Um. Yeah, I should have been saving. Okay, when we go back to the break, I'ma save right there, and then we can continue from that part. Well, there were other options in Cecile's part. I try to save at certain spots. I'm gonna start over. I'm gonna see. Um, I'm gonna have to skip through all this. Um, how much can I skip? I think it's gonna keep going to the break. Okay, right here. I'm gonna do the same thing. So it was like, don't take the pill. I didn't take the pill. Mm, we got a few. We have a few different routes in here, so I'm gonna try to like pick through them and see what different dialogue there is. Because this one like, because they have specific dialogue if you take the pill or not. And then there's this right here. I don't know how much of a difference this is. This is actually what I wanted to say, but I guess it doesn't matter if we can like skip through it that quickly. I guess we can do it that way too. This is what I want to do. I don't know if this matters that much. Let's click it and find out. All right. I find myself thinking of Cecile's expression from the previous night. Now that I think about it, that isn't the first time I've seen him looking wistful or wayward as he takes in the night air. I'd like to just sit him down and ask him what's going on, although I don't know that he'd appreciate an interrogation while he's troubled by something. I'm not entirely oblivious, of course. I'm sure it has to do with his family and their business. I think he feels as though he's not fit for the task, but I know he can do it. In fact, I doubt he'll have any trouble at all outshining his parents. He's always so attentive and kind, two qualities his father and mother lack entirely. It's useless to keep fretting over this. I'll speak with him properly once things have settled a bit. Once I've had more time to recover from the shock of today. Thinking any further will only tie my brain into knots, and I've not the time to untangle that. And more than that, even these thoughts can't keep the ghastly image of Douglas' lifeless face from. Okay. Alright, we read that part. Okay. So it's let me skip, so. Okay. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so that first part doesn't really matter, but you know, we can go back and click it every time we come past it. Alright, so we're gonna go back down and follow Cecile. There was another thing that we could do, I think. Running and running and running. Right here. Um I guess I could have saved. I could have saved. It doesn't take that long to get back to this point. I want to see how it felt again. I started wondering about it the other day, remembering how it felt when I was younger. I needed to know that if it was just nostalgic daydreams or if I really preferred things to be irregular. This to being a regular human. It does suit you. Cecile smiles brightly. Being able to leap so high and dispatch vagabonds with ease. Do you really think it's that impressive? Everything about you is impressive, Lucy. You're incredible. My heart flutters in my chest. It must be a bit worn out from the chase still. Lucy, you got such a head for business. Okay, and then we seen this one. Okay, so it's just like minor stuff like that. Okay, we can go this. Alright, let's finish up Cecile's. Wait, no. Why did I do that again? Please. Okay, start. Not continue. Start. Let me see. Alright, skip this. At least the skip part is fast. I appreciate that. Okay, oh, right. I have to do like a I have to do a route where I like take the pills. Let me see. There's one more when you don't take the pills, so I'm gonna keep going. Ah. Running and running and running. Running and running and running. Okay, Elm. Elma's been wait. Elma's been a true friend for some time now. He's joined Cecile and I more than a few of our misadventures. Okay, yeah. Though we met a few years previously, I've gotten to know him even better since we started sharing a class this past spring. I've never seen him so completely at a loss. What could have kept him from telling us about his family, and that he has a twin brother even? If I can find him tomorrow after class, I'll make a point to hear him out. There's an uneasy weight in my chest. Elm and Rowan both lost their father last night. And if Elm is feeling anything like what I felt as a child when I learned of my family's fate, enough of this speculation. Wait, enough of this. Speculation won't help Elm any, and it won't get me any closer to understanding what he's going through. I'll speak with him tomorrow once I've had more time to recover from the shock of today. Thinking any further will only tie my brain into knots. Okay. Okay, right. And let's repeat text. And follow Cecile. There was another option. Let me do a little savey save right here. Alright. Alright. Keep going. I don't know, I'm still not sure. That's what I wanted to say. I don't know, I'm still not sure. It wasn't as if I planned to stop in advance. It struck me as I picked up my pills the night before last. Being a vampire wouldn't be a terrible thing after all, and I've waited until I'm a full adult, so Nemo can't say anything against it. But you still aren't set on it, are you? Cecile always knows when I'm papering over indecision with rashness. It's as if he can see through my deepest thoughts, and even knowing what a mess they are, he still looks at me fondly. No, not yet. Not for lack of thought, though. Maybe lack of time to spend on thinking it over. You were impressive back there, and in our youth. Thank you, though. Being impressive from time to time might not outweigh other considerations. Well, either way, you'll still be impressive, I think. Whatever you decide, Lucy, we'll still be together, so don't worry too much. Of course. A crack spreads across my heart. Cecile is being gentle, but it's challenging to consider his eventual death and toil it will take on me. Right, because he's a human and he'll age a lot faster. If I remained human, our time in this world would at least be similarly measured. If I returned to being a vampire in full, however. Thank you. I'm sure you expected this, but you're the only person I've told so far, and I don't plan to tell everyone else just yet. Particularly Nemo. Not until I'm certain. That's sensible, especially if you change your mind. Whatever you choose, though, I'm sure we'll manage all right. Lucy, you got such a head of business. Okay, and we've seen this one. I think that was it. Okay, so that was it for that portion of Cecile's ride. All right. I guess I don't. I guess I don't need to continue. Wait, I did this before going on Elm's route. Yeah. Okay. So this is when you like don't take the pill. This is like don't take the pill. Let me see. Okay, so that was after the decision. Oh lord. Okay. Okay. I was like, there has to be a way to go back to the main menu. Okay, we're good. Um, I do wish that I wish that even when I skip stuff, and you know, like when the options pop up, I wish that we were able to save before clicking the option. You know, like you can like skip it and then save right there the option. I wish there was like still a pop up for that. Let me see. See, like right here. I wish that I was able to save like right before this, so then whenever I load the save, I would be like right here at it, and I don't have to skip all the way to it. I think that would be nice. I don't know. Maybe I should fill out the survey. You know, it's a little suggestion. I think it'd be nice to save right before the decision. It'll be easier to jump back to it that way. All right. Um, you know what? Let me finish the seals. We can take the pill this time. Ooh. Okay, but since it's animated. Look at that. Wait, hold on. Let me save it. Okay, so this is where we take the pill. I'm gonna save it right here. So we take the pill, and then whatever route we get on, then that's gonna be that. And then we can just keep jumping from that one. All right. So I have to just save it after the decision instead of before. I screw off the top and drop a tiny emerald pill into my palm. It's small enough to go inside a ring. Instead, I pop it into my mouth. I may have been a vampire for a brief time, but I'm fine staying human for a little while longer. I'm not ready to age slower than everyone else just yet. I take one last glance at the bottle as I stand. There are many people still skeptical about the treatment, but Mr. Douglas was fascinated by it. Okay, I think we read this part. Okay, so okay, so I can't skip all this it seems. Okay, because I was like, I figured at some point the dialogue would be different because you know it's like it's different outcomes depending on whether you take the pills or not. Okay, okay. I wonder if it would be worthwhile to stop taking my pills just long enough to use my blood arts again. All I need to do is prove that I'm a vampire, and then see like this part right here because I was like, oh yeah, because we didn't take the pills, so now we have a means to like prove that the pills work since we're off the pills. But at the same time, the symptoms like of her being a vampire like came back just like that. So it's something for her to work on to like, you know, make it better. I was like, look at that. No, I need something more reliable than that. Okay, so now I can skip all this. New. Okay, let's do Rowan's. And I think the only other difference should be like when we're talking to Cecile and dealing with that vampire, the rude vampire. That should be the only other difference because you know she didn't take the pills, so she was able to fight the dude off. But she might not want be as quick to like fight the dude off. Oh my god, 4 a.m. Ooh, okay. Get some sleep. Have a good night. Well, have a good morning. I hope you're getting sleep. I hope you got some sleep. But thank you so much for stopping by. See you next time. Okay, Rowan. At first, I thought he and Elm couldn't be more similar, but now I can almost trace the parallels between them. For all of Rowan's confidence and his cheeky retorts, I still can't tell exactly what was running through his mind. Bye bye! Elm is only impenetrable because he speaks so seldom, and his face rarely betrays his inner thoughts. But with Rowan, I can't tell. Is he sincere in his compliments? Is he hiding his grief, or has his father's death really left him completely unfazed? It's pointless to continue this. I'll only wear myself running in circles and I'll get no closer to clarity. I'll see him the day after tomorrow, and hopefully by then I'll have had more time to recover from today. Thinking any further will only tie my brain into knots, and I've not the time to untangle that. Okay, alright, now. Okay, stop. See, I caught it. Okay. Well, I could just go ahead and save it right here. Because, I mean, I already took the pills. Let me save it right here just in case. Let me save it right here just in case. Okay, so both of these, I took the pill. Okay, now I can save right before making the decision. Okay, there we go. We can do it like this. Alright, I'm going to follow Cecile again just to see what the dialogue is like. Okay. Yeah, okay. So this is after she takes the jump like off the ledge. She took that jump because you know they said like for a vampire it's nothing, but for a human it would hurt. Okay. Alright. Let's see. A quick enough landing, but not one I want to repeat. The pain shooting up through my legs reminds me too keenly that I don't have the same strength I did as a vampire. Lucy, what are you doing? That's dangerous. Okay, this is like repeat. Okay, I figured it should be different right here. Okay. I can still remember the flashing light I saw once long ago when we were children. Brilliant emerald light that could scald my skin and burn my eyes. That light is coursing through my veins now, as it had been for the last 5 years. I haven't tested it lately, but practical applications are always the most useful trials. I ripped my glove away and shoved my bare hand into the vampire's face, covering it with the flat of my palm. Oh! He said, the man staggers back, wailing as he clutches his forehead in agony. As I thought, he's already looking around for a convenient escape route. Okay. He clambers to his feet and bounds past the pair of workers. Well, okay, so since in this route she took her pills, so she's like human instead of vampire. She's not like, you know, she's suppressive vampire. Vampire suppressive. Let me stop. But so she used a different method instead of like beating up the dude because she doesn't have her vampiric strength. She used a different weapon to help her out. I guess it was like an emerald. Okay. It's not let me skip this part, even though it's like let me see. Okay, alright. This part right here is different. Although he's faster than the both of us, he's uncoordinated and doesn't seem to know where he's heading. For Cecile and I, it's like chasing a hare and keep running in circles. Right, because she's not a vampire anymore, she can't run as fast as she is. That said, even if we do know the streets of Laurenburg by heart, I don't think I'll be able to keep this up for long. Cecile's running ahead already, and I can feel my legs beginning to ache. My speed and stamina aren't what they were 5 minutes ago. We duck around work ladders, slip between carriages, nearly miss a baby door flung open without warning. Past the teeming crowd, the road splits to the left and right, rolling on the steep wall of the lower level of the city. I spot the man leaping into a narrow alley, almost out of sight ahead, just a few paces away from us now. Left, up ahead. Got it. Cecile turns after a query of the head, then looks back to me with a furrowed brow. Are you sure you went this way, Lucy? Cecile pants as he forces out each word. I don't see anyone here. I saw him go right. Ugh. An empty alleyway full of open windows and half a dozen doors stands before us. I strain my eyes to find any trace of the vampire's path, but I can't tell where he might have gone. Well, that's settled then. Well, that's settled. Shall we return to campus? Yes, I think that's enough running for me today. We finally slow to catch our breaths just inside of the campus gates. I'm completely winded and Cecile still panting as he wipes the sweat from his brow. Honestly, I could do with a more mundane afternoon after these past 2 days. Lucy, are you alright? Yes, I'm fine. Apart from the ache, I'll have my legs tomorrow. And poor Silas, I'm just glad we were able to chase that ruffian away. I hope he doesn't harass him again. Lucy, what do you think we should call the police? I don't expect there'd be much help in this case. Where did Silas go for that matter? I'm sure he's safe. He was inside. I'll go and check on him tomorrow to be sure. Plot twist, Silas is dead. Cecile's smiling and adjusting his glasses as he always does, but my eyes keep catching on his fidgeting hands. Is that letter still wearing on his mind, or is there something else bothering him? The bell chimes the quarter hour. What time is it now? I completely lost track. Oh no, I've got another class soon. Lucy, I'll see you tonight at dinner. Yes, unless I'm still sorting through all of my plans for tomorrow's negotiations. Lucy, you got such a head for business. Alright, so now just let me skip this part so we've seen this part. Alright, now we haven't seen this part. Okay. Let me see. Cecile leaves for an evening class, and I return home to review my letters with Douglas to prepare for my meeting with Rowan tomorrow. Night falls quickly, then seems to stretch on for ages. Though, wait, through Ambrose's dinner. Okay, so I read that part. I'm not going to butcher that word again. Alright, and then this is the end of the demo. Alright. Honestly, maybe there wasn't a text typo. I don't know. Okay, wait. Well, since I'm here, let me go set one up. Okay, so I can just click anywhere. No, it did it too quickly. Well, I might as well leave now. Okay. I was trying to catch it, but I think I accidentally clicked. Main menu. Yeah. All right, now I can hit continue. I'm gonna just go ahead and start from this one. No, wait. Load this one. Okay, this is when we took the pill. Alright, now we're done with Cecile's route. We're gonna go on Elm's route. Okay. Yeah, I think we did everything for Cecile. We're good. And this is us taking the pill. Alright. As much as I'd like to know what got Cecile rushing off so suddenly, I know he'll tell me in time. Elm, though. He should be only a few paces down the hall, and he isn't even walking quickly. But every step toward him feels like I'm walking through lapping waves. I'm anxious. I was too focused to notice it sooner. And now I've only got the span of a few yards to think of what I'll say. I need to know why he kept his twins' existence a secret. But what do I say to someone who lost their father just 2 nights past? Wait, where is he gone? That man is zooming. He should be only a few paces down the hall, and he isn't even walking quickly. But every step toward him feels like I'm walking through. Oh, I already said that. I don't know. It like throws me off when like the scene background changes and like all the text disappears, and it makes me feel like this whole new text on the screen. Okay. I only hesitated for a moment. He's probably on his way back to his manor, right? Elm? Elm! No reply, though. I expected as much. I'm not in shoes built for sprinting, but I can manage 100 yards at least. I recalled the directions. Rowing gave me well enough. I should be able to follow the roads there and catch Elm along the way. Unless he's running at a breathless pace, I should at least be able to catch sight of him before he shuts himself away. I can easily keep up this moderate pace for longer if I need to, but I don't. There's no reason to keep running. Running and running and running. I moved past a pair of sullen, downcast faces beneath a blooming lilac arbor and I stopped. Let me see. Skip mode, unseen text. Okay. I'm not out of breath, but I still feel my pulse quickening. I sit down beside the stone marble bust of one of the university's founders on a short pedestal, and I look up through the vines. Perhaps Ambrose was right. There are things I might miss if I rush too quickly straight ahead. Oh, the flowers here are lovely. They only bloom for a day or two. They'll be gone once the storm passes, though. Beside me, Elm's face is just as graven and dark as the statues keeping watch throughout the garden. His voice doesn't carry a tremor, softer than usual, almost weary. A shame then. I'm sure Ambrose wouldn't mind if we cut a few to keep before the wind carries them off. Whether the headmaster minds or not, I don't think your brother will let you steal the gardener's shears again. The next thought doesn't form completely in my mind. Elm and I both linger uncomfortably for a moment. Elm tisses briefly as I reach up. For now, I'll have to do without asking about Roland. I pinch the stem of the lilac high on the arbor, twist it swiftly and snap it off the vine. I offer it to Elm, rightly proud of myself. I don't need to steal anyone's shears, fortunately. It seems you don't, Lucy. Ah, he's smiling, at least a little, which is significant for someone like him. And now he's not smiling anymore. So, Elm takes in a slow breath. You heard that my father died the night before last. Yes, I'm sorry. No. It's not. I didn't expect it. I thought it would happen for decades more. My father was the my father wasn't the most present man. He worked from before sunup to long after sunup, week upon week. He especially threw himself into work over the past several years. I always thought he would work away his grief in time. I wanted to talk to him. It was today that we were supposed to meet. You don't have to say more than you'd like. If you do want to talk about your father though, I've got a better set of ears than the founders. I tilt my head toward the marble bust outside of us and Elm chuckles lightly. There are attentive at least. With some effort, Elm rises to his feet and accepts the lilac I plucked as he does. The sight of him bringing the petals up to his nose, smiling at the scent, and then placing the flower in his breast pocket is unexpectedly beautiful. I'm sorry I've been avoiding you, Cecile, lately. Would you like to walk with me for a while? What? Oh, yes, by all means. Thank you for the flower, and coming to find me. I hope you didn't expect that I let you languish here on your own. Cecile would have come with me too, but he had something urgent to attend. Something which I'm going to ask him about tonight. Why did he rush off like that? All these vines are so old and well tended. I doubt even the hurricane could stop them from blooming year after year. If only it were that easy for us. I can hear bitterness pulling down Elm's quiet laughter. We walk on through the garden, and soon enough the university gates are into town. I take Elm's arm once we're in the midst of the afternoon crowds. He's always a little stiff in these moments. I think he's never been accustomed to human touch. He's told me that he doesn't dislike it in theory, but when anyone else touches his arm or shoulder, it makes him keenly aware of his own body in a way he's rarely pleased with. I suppose I can understand. I've heard some people experience this when they turn into vampires, and suddenly have a heightened awareness of themselves, including any misgivings or anxieties they might have. In Elm's case, though, I always wondered if it wasn't just that he spent so much time in his own mind that he rarely gives his body a second thought. Time slips by as slowly as if we're swimming against the flow, walking slowly as the sun drops toward the rooftops of Lawrenceburg. Once 3 summers passed, Cecile and I walked with Elm through these streets. I forget if we even had a goal or if we were just enjoying a carefree afternoon, browsing the storefronts and window displays. We stopped by a clockmaker, one of those old shops with a yellow windows, and a faded sign above the door. The brass handle on its entrance was smooth and worn from the weight of thousands of hands. Elm stood there, transfixed and singularity focused on an open pendulum clock with its shifting gears. A small city moved around its base, with porcelain carriages and ladies beneath lace parasols shifting at each quarter hour. Look at it, you two. He barely spoke above a whisper. Isn't it wondrous to see every part laid out as fitted together so finely? Cecile eagerly agreed, and the two spent a fair while exceedingly chattering about the marvels of precision engineering, though Elm didn't seem as taken with the fine embellishments. Rather than the decoration on each piece, Elm stared at the whole mechanism, as if he were gazing at the night and mapping every star. It's laid out in plain to see, every piece and part in harmony. I can almost hear his words from all those years past, as clear as the chime of that clock. He's certainly a strange fellow, but a reliable friend and a steady presence. Perhaps that's why seeing him so shocked has left me unnerved as well. Up ahead of us, a young couple walks away from the alleyway stall with absolute glee. A middle-aged man with a brilliant sapphire necklace and matching cufflinks is waving goodbye to his last customer and beckons Elm over with the same motion. His table is full of rings and pendants, all set with enormous gems, which is why I'm confident he's a thief or a counterfeit. Haha, yes, welcome. You two seem to be enjoying yourselves, so why not get something for your bow bear? My jaw nearly drops, but mostly because of the quality of the gems in front of me. There's a topaz nearly the size of my thumb and without a single impurity. I would, but I forgot my wallet. A blatant lie. Why did you think I was the bow? And why did he think I was the bow? No, come on now. You might think these are princess treasures, but I assure you they're more reasonable than you expect. You see, sir and madam, these are all reconstructed rubies. We've concocted them in test tubes and grown them to tremendous size, all for less than a minute monthly wage. Thank you, but we'll be on our way. Reconstructed rubies? Ah, caught your eye. Yes, you see, these are marvel of modern scientific ingenuity. I'm familiar. I borrowed a book on the process if you'd like to see it back at the campus library. They are lovely. Oh no, it looks like he's taken with a pair of ruby hairpins that hasn't caught my meaning. Yes, indeed, a perfect pair of identical hairpins. See how finely the silver filigree fits and braces the precise cut of the ruby, like stars blossoming on a vine. The perfect gift for a lady with beautiful hair. Truly a lovely set, wouldn't you say? And they'd be lovelier if one of them wasn't fake. I thought I muttered under my breath, too quiet for anyone but Elm to hear, but judging by the color now drained from his face, that must have been louder than I intended. The vendor squints at me and leans far over the table, thrusting the hairpin toward me. Young miss, why not try them on? No, thank you. Wait, the gems may be well synthetic, but the settings here are finely crafted, and that's a high grade of silver too. Ornamentation on the hairpin is worth more than he's charging for the pair. Lucy? Haha, I see, yes. You're taking Mother Beauty as well, aren't you? Go ahead, try them on. I guarantee you I've got the finest synthesized gems in all the city. No, you haven't. What was that now? Just as I thought, his cheery demeanor only held up while he thought we might still be gullible. He's traded out his honeyed flattery for a sailor's rasp. Unfortunately for him, I've spent weeks reading the latest chemical research into synthesizing gems. Fortunate for both of us, really. He's either a thief or a counterfeiter, and either way he's drastically overestimating just how large synthetic gems can grow with the latest techniques. Or the technologies. Oh, hold up. Yeah, techniques. I read it right. Okay. If I'm not mistaken, I think some of these pieces are worth far more than you're asking. You should get them appraised, otherwise I'm afraid you might be losing a fortune. Thank you for the offer, but we'll be on our way. Elm is shaking out the distraction on his face, and he shoots a sharp glare at the vendor before we walk away. Now you listen here. Ow! He's grabbing my wrist with a vice grip. I heard you slander my goods. Apologize. Should I apologize for being too generous? Clearly, you don't know what you got your hands on. Let go of her. Elm immediately wrests the man's arm away and stands between the two of us. It's amusing to see the older man shrivel under Elm's gaze. I didn't realize he could be so intense, if I'm being honest. They stare one another down for a moment before the vendor, or thief more likely, lowers his hands and steps back. Lucy, let's go. Yes, and quickly. Elm turns down the street, and I glance back at the likely thief as we go. Oh! Elm turns down the street and okay. I only notice the glint of a blade when he's already rushing up to Elm. Maybe this is a good save. Let me see. So I'm better off saving over this one. Because that's when I ate the food. So I can go back to that one and get the rest of it. I'm trying to work this out. Watch out! The man lunges and Elm pushes me aside. A guttural shout fills the alley end. No! Elm staggers. He's holding the man back as he winces in pain. He looks over to me and my blood chills until I hear the metallic clatter of the knife falling against the pavement. Apologize, you brats! It's magnificent to watch. In a way, but it's magnificent to watch him. Elm twists the man's wrist around, cinches an arm behind his back, and with those tacky sapphire cufflinks shining in the afternoon sun, and shoves him away with indifference. He makes it look almost effortless. He kicks the knife into an open sewage grate and hurries over to meet me. I'm desperate to get back to the shade of the campus garden. Ooh! Well, that was more activity than I expected for one afternoon. Are you alright? Are you? I was worried you'd been stabbed. Elm glances down at himself, and he hadn't thought to check until now to see if there was blood blooming on his shirt. Also, the other guy got stabbed. Okay. Phew! I seem to be fine. He had a poor grip. I'm not sure he wanted to hurt me, only intimidate us. He could have killed you. He deserved more than an imprint on the street of his face. Of the street on his face. And thank you. I may have antagonized him too much. Not that he had an even temper to begin with. Elm smiles back at me for a moment before a thought distracts him and pulls his attention away. That street vendor couldn't possibly have had actual synthetic gems, could he? He's likely guilty of more than just a momentary outburst in any case. Those were lovely hairpins, though. Suspiciously lovely. Those gems were clearly fake, and he admitted as much. But the settings were genuine. What was his game? I haven't heard of any schemes of that sort. Perhaps Ambrose or Nemo might have heard something about this. We're finally back in the campus gardens. Thankfully, the cool breeze and gentle shade are a relief. Elm's still quiet. He's been staring into the distance for some time now. Well, shall we return inside then? My family. I haven't had the best relationship with the rest of my family for a few years now. It's nothing intriguing or scandalous. My father devoted himself to his work above all else, as I said. And since my mother died, he's barely shared a living space with me, let alone a meal. And my brother. Elm's eyes dart away, as if he can't help but glance toward the forest on the horizon. He is a fine person. His voice is clearly strained. There's more to this, of course, but I don't want to press him further right now. I may have been too aggressive in questioning him this morning, too focused in the shock of learning of Douglas's death and Elm's relation to him, too oblivious to the pain that it was causing Elm. I'm sorry for not telling you about that. It's well within your right. You don't have to say anything more if you'd rather not. He nods slightly, and and for a time we simply stand beneath the arbor of lilac blossom. Tomorrow, I'll meet Rowan and discuss a potential business partnership. I should likely ask around about that strange vendor too, in case there's something stirring in the city's jewelry market. For now, however, I can't seem to focus on anything but the odd distance in Elm's face. It's as though he's gone away and left himself here while he visits smoothly. A bell chimes and signals the top of the hour, breaking us both free from the garden's clam. I've got to prepare for my meeting with Rowan still, and I'm curious to hear if there's been any word on why the Coppers are so interested in Douglas's death. I've got another class to see. His hand slides over mine, and he gently pulls his arm away from me. Thank you for finding me here today. Of course. I must look like an utter fool, being flustered so easily. Elm's voice is so soothing, I almost forgot myself for a moment. I got preparations of my own, so we'll speak again tomorrow. Take care, Elm. He nods, though I'm not sure he heard me completely. Okay, let me actually say right here. Okay, alright, we good. Night falls quickly, then seems to stretch on for ages. Through Ambrose's dinner. Oh, Lord. I'm not even. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's see. My mind keeps wandering as I read his letters again, as much to Elm and his grief as to the strange sadness of Douglas's death. And if that weren't enough to contend with, the odd wares from that vendor this afternoon still bother me a good deal. Focus, I need to clear my thoughts, or I won't be prepared for negotiations with Rowan tomorrow. I can only hope that sleep finds me soon. Huh, okay. That one didn't have a lot of branching paths on it. Okay, let's see. I wonder if there's more branching paths if you don't take the pills, because it seemed that way for Cecile. So I'm gonna keep going, take the pill, and I'm gonna overwrite that save. No, don't take the pill. Yeah, don't take the pill. We gotta be vampire for this. We vamping. Okay, so now I can save right here. I'll save right here. Alright. Alright, now we can keep going. I'm gonna wait a bit. Okay. Okay, we did click all of these, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Alright. I was about to say stop! Stop! Okay, save. Right here. Okay. Oh, I can scroll back. Oh! I don't know, something told me, I was like, maybe I can scroll back when this pops up. So I guess it's not all too bad. But like, as long as people know that they can scroll back, they can save right quick, and then they can keep going. But it might be nice to still have it on the screen, just in case people don't get it. I don't know. Yeah, let's overwrite that save right before the choice. Okay, that makes me feel a bit better. Alright, let's go back to Elm. Alright, we're gonna skip until it stops. Okay, right here there's different dialogue. Let's see. I think Elm suffered enough recently, and this shoddy cad could stand to suffer a bit more. I don't have my full vampiric strength back yet, but I should be more than quick enough to twist the knife from his hand. So this time we're taking charge. Ah, let go of me! And more than strong enough to throw him through that collection of stolen baubles he's trying to peddle. No! Oh, thank you not to trouble us further. Lucy, you wretch, slanderer! I'll have the coppers on you. Not likely, considering how shady your own business is. He's still scrambling up to his feet and shouting, but I've already thrown his knife up onto a nearby rooftop, so I doubt he'll get much right yet. Pompous vampires, don't look down on me. In a bitter fit, he throws a large emerald brooch at me and it hits my neck with a dull thud. I flinch, expecting a flash of light and a searing pain, but nothing happens. The brooch falls to the ground and the stone cracks on my back. Would you like to ruin any of your other merchandise while you're at it? Leave me be! I say, oh Lord, leave me be, wretched cretins! Scrambling like a squirrel caught in slick ice, the man scoops his wares into a satchel and rushes away into a nearby building. He's certainly up to no good, and I'd be remiss to let him go after hurling such sharp approaches. That was heavy, you know. Come on, Elle, you can't let him get away. Wait. Just as I take off after the suspicious vendor, Elton grabs my hand and stops me. For a moment, I can't speak as we both realize how tightly our hands are locked together. Will we hold hands? We separate shortly after, though it's hard to meet his eyes until we begin walking next campus. Ow. Elm's footsteps are steady as a pendulum, but his face isn't nearly as easy to read as a clock. Does he also feel a faint warmth clinging to his fingers? The sun is starting to singe my eyes, so I duck into the shade of a tree. Elm is staring at me, I realize. He's been staring for some time, and his gaze is almost as bright as the sunlight. What is it? Are you a vampire? Yes. I'm almost unsure how to answer. Am I a vampire right now? I know some of my strength is returning, and I can tell that my senses are sharper, especially with the afternoon sun feeling like a blinding flash out in the open. Is that all it takes for me to return to being a vampire, though? 5 years of steady doses with pure emerald pills, and then after missing just one already start to show signs of vampirism again? If that's truly the case, then I'll need to adjust my estimates for treatment plans. It may be more of a chronic condition that needs steady maintenance rather than a condition you can easily reverse or undo. And you have been all this time? He sounds eager, almost excited. I haven't seen him so wrapped in attention since he helped the professor explain the origins of modern economic models. I sighed to myself. It would be better to explain the whole of it to him. I see. You mentioned you worked in business plans before, but I didn't know you were testing a cure on yourself. It was my brother's idea, though now that I know just how quickly the effects can fade, I might thank him for being so insistent. Was this testing? This? When you didn't take your last pill, was that part of your test of the treatment? Okay, so maybe I should say right here. Was it? That were my thoughts the night before last. What were my thoughts the night before last when I stared at the pill bottle before setting it back down unopened? Okay. It wasn't anything as calculated as that. I was nostalgic for the time I spent as a vampire in my youth, so I stopped for the wind to see how it felt again. I can't say that I miss the harshness of the sun, though. Do you have fond memories of your time as a vampire in your childhood? That's not an easy thing to answer. Yes, I suppose. I see, He's staring at me so intently. Does he realize his face is getting so close? That's fascinating. There, he's backing away at last. For someone so quiet and solemn, he's surprisingly bold. He almost seemed entranced. Is he so fascinated by vampires, or just by me? I'm glad those synthetic gems didn't have a reaction to it, at least. That brooch would have left a terrible burn if they had. Yes, that was fortunate, to say the least. A street vendor couldn't possibly have had synthetic gems, could he? He's likely guilty of more than just a momentary outburst in any case. Okay. Alright, so we don't have much left of the demo, actually. Alright, let's continue. I don't know, I'm still not sure. Alright. I don't know, I'm still not sure, honestly. mostly on a whim that I decided to skip a dose, though I never thought the changes would be so quick. Is that so? I didn't even realize a cure would be so easily reversible. Yes, I suppose it makes sense. With other formulations that change your body or alter its symptoms, you often need to keep treatment up through the most of your life. And is that truly what I want to do? Should I take the next pill or should I stop altogether? I see. Alright. Alright, we got one more. Okay. I need to see how quickly the effects faded, or if they faded at all. I was half convinced that I would simply be a human forever, though. Apparently it's more persistent condition than I thought. So you don't plan to remain a vampire then? I don't, do I? I haven't had the time to think it through properly, though. Though maybe I should make the time sooner rather than later. I could always take a pill tomorrow night to change back. I haven't decided just yet. It's too soon to tell. I see. Alright. Okay, alright. So, that's the demo. Okay. So I'm pretty sure I went through every last different option. I clicked through all the options that we could in the demo. So yeah, this is the game. Crimson Moon under the Emerald. Wait, no. Oh Lord. Yeah, Crimson Waves on the Emerald Sea. Amaranthine Moon. That is the entire demo. Thanks again to Crystal Game Works for inviting me to play their game. It seems very good. It seems like a very interesting story. I like it so far. All the characters look good. Everybody look good. I'm rocking with the main character. You know, a lot of these otome games, I can't really rock with the main character, but I rock with this one. I don't know. I guess I get tired of like the cookie cutter type of MC. But like, you know, she seems pretty chill. You know, she got a sense for business. She got a good head on her shoulder. She know what she want. It seems like she's the type to rush like head on, but you know, like she knows what she wants and she'll go for it. So you know what, I respect it. But yeah. And once again, if y'all would like to try it out, you can do !Crimson on Twitch, and you can find the link to their Steam and itch.io page for the game demo, and you can try it there. And if you want to play the first game, Crimson Waves on the Emerald Sea, that is also available for free to play on Steam and itch.io. So yeah. So honestly, we finished a lot earlier than I thought we would. But I know they said that the demo is about like 2 to 3 hours, and that's just about how much time we spent on it. I started a bit after 2. So yeah, if you want to try it out, I recommend it. It seems pretty good to me. But yeah, thank y'all again for coming out to chill out as I read y'all another story. And tomorrow's stream we'll be back to date everything. Let me see. I think we got to like 60 something dateables, like 60, 70 something dateables. So we're gonna try to get like at least 10 more. We're gonna try to get to 10 more dateables. And yeah, so I'll see y'all tomorrow. Also be at 2 p.m. So have a good night, good day wherever you are.